The main settler organizations are holding a conference near the border to select the first Jewish families to settle in Gaza. We are the only media invited to cover it.
ברגע שאני שומע את אותם הפצצות בעזה, אני מרגיש שהעם שלי חזק. משמידים את הרע בעולם.
As we hear Israeli bombs falling on Gaza, they already discuss how much land each family will take, and the destiny of the people of Gaza, the exile.
מותר לגרש אותו ומותר להשתלט עליו. זה שלנו. זה שלנו והשם רוצה אותנו מתיישבים שם. זה מקום בכלל לגדל את הילדים, דרך אגב בסוף בהתחלה לא יהיה צפוף שם, כל אחד יהיה לו דונם, יהיה מאוד מרווח, לפחות דונם.
לא! משנה מה אנחנו, אבל זה לא מספיק. לא אחד ולא שתיים ולא שתיים. כל אחד מפה. אז מי זה טוב? זה אומר שנותנים לו לישון בשקט. אתה לא תישון בשקט. אני לא אתן לך לתכנן את עזה. עזה היא שלנו.
That same night, while Gaza is relentlessly being erased, they took a boat with the first families, ready to occupy the land of those who are being killed and starved to death.
המטרה של גרעיני ההתיישבות להתקרב ככל האפשר לעזה, לראות את עזה כולה ולהבין שמעתה והלאה עזה תהיה כולה יהודית.
בעזרת השם, עם ישראל ינצח ונזכה לבנות ולראות בשוב השם לציון ובשוב עם ישראל לחבל עזה.
So these people are completely deranged. Now, that woman you saw at the end there is this woman here. She is a member of the Israeli parliament, the Knesset, and is more of an extremist member. That said, there are many within the Knesset that view things exactly as she does, and they are aligned with Benjamin Netanyahu, which continues to help people understand why Benjamin Netanyahu, putting aside, what his own personal views may be, which I'm sure are also extreme, but his power is held up by people like this. So the reason I'm showing you this image here of this lawmaker is because it is part of this larger story where she was this recently, in August, last month, defending the soldiers who were caught on camera committing extreme abuse of prisoners. So this stuff, again, I'm not even sure what I can say on YouTube, but it was very clear the kind of abuse that these prisoners were being subjected to. And she was out there defending these soldiers doing this. Now, wasn't the only one. As I said, she is not on an island here. A different Israeli lawmaker defended the exact same actions, who was actually a member of Netanyahu's Likud party. And he was asked, as he defended the alleged abuse, whether it was legitimate to do what happened. He said yes. Yes, he shouted in reply. Everything is legitimate. Everything. Now, in terms of settlements, this has been, of course, going on for decades. I'm going to show you a map in a second here showing the progression over decades of these settlements and outposts. But I'm highlighting this article here from the UN because this in particular shows you this was going on, of course, before October 7th. But the UN, well aware of it here, settlement expansion in occupied Palestinian territory violates international law, must cease. Many delegates tell Security Council. The reason why there has not been any real action here is because the U.S. has veto power. The U.S. and other Israeli allies, like the U.K., like Canada, stand up for Israel despite the clear violation of international law. And Amnesty International has a great breakdown here Again, this article, I believe, is from 2019, so from a few years ago, but goes on to explain exactly where it violates international law. So Israel's policy of settling its civilians in occupied Palestinian territory and displacing the local population contravenes fundamental rights of international humanitarian law. Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention states, quote, "The occupying power shall not deport or transfer parts of its own civilian population into the territory it occupies." It also prohibits the individual or mass forcible transfers as well as deportations of protected persons from occupied territory. The Israeli government is clearly in direct violation of this and has been for decades. Here is the a map shared from the Associated Press showing since the late 60s Israeli settlements and outposts in the West Bank. And it gives you a clear indication of what the Israeli government has been able to get away with because of its alignment with largely the U.S., but also as well, of course, the UK and Canada here play a role as well, as do other allies of Israel. But those are the major players. It continues to be incredibly frustrating to see the level of destruction, the blatant violation of international law, but of course, beyond that, the ongoing mass atrocities, the mass death at the hands of the Israeli government, be it through their direct actions, through the IDF, or also through, as this documentary dictate or showcases, the complete allowing these extremist groups to commit these sorts of acts and continue expanding the Israeli land despite the Israeli government knowing what they are doing and simply not willing to stop it because, again, they completely support it.